Well, hello again, guys. You join me now in downtown Seoul. I'm heading towards what is their equivalent of Times Square for this emergency broadcast. I'm actually already in the process of filming and editing and putting together another video, a special Q&A from here in the South Korean capital. That's on hold. Events have overtaken things tonight, and the news is, and we'll examine the news, the views, and what happens next. The news is Newcastle have rejected Liverpool's opening formal offer for Alexander Isak. What is the value of that offer? I understand two things. One, first of all, which I reported, it is way below Newcastle's valuation of £150 million on Isak, and that is in the region of £110 million, in fact, plus add-ons. But I don't like add-ons. I don't know about you guys. We don't know what add-ons mean. An add-on after 50 appearances, well, that's worth something. An add-on if they win the Champions League and the Premier League in the first season, that's entirely different. So let's work with what we know. It's around the £110 million plus those add-ons. 110 though. Newcastle, they want the money. They need the money up front if they are to do a deal, and that would be a package approaching £150 million, still another £40 million to find. However, Liverpool managed to do that, and should they want to do that, we do believe, an insert from colleague sources on Merseyside, Liverpool are now readying a second offer. It was always likely that they would lowball to begin with to a degree, and Newcastle would reject it. Where do we go from here? Well, what do we know? Liverpool want him. Alexander Isak absolutely wants to do. The sound again, I was told that noise above, it's not grasshoppers. I said in the video the other day, it's grasshoppers. It's not, it's something called cicadas. I mean, cicadas, one of the locals told me that. I said, well, it's all very well and good, cicadas. What happens when the healthy adders come out to play? Oh, it's a bad, clumsy joke. The cicadas, look it up, cicadas. Make a hell of a racket. The noisier than all the noise around Newcastle United right now. And we're just heading to the noisiest part of Seoul. This is appropriate. Right, where was I? What do we know? £110 million in. Newcastle have rejected it. Liverpool want Isak. They will come back. Absolutely, they will come back. Isak wants Liverpool. He's in Spain, currently training. Story I wrote last night. Newcastle have refused to deny that he is their AWOL. Now, it's my understanding that it was Isak's decision, Isak's choice to go to Spain to work at his former club, Real Sociedad. The optics of that, for the player, for the club, for everything around this, aren't good. They're not good at all. Why is he training, working in former club when, if he is injured, he should be doing his rehab back on Tyneside? There are staff there who could be working with him. Is he injured? Next question. Well, the scan on the injured thigh, which ruled him out of the trip to this wonderful place, and I do love it here, by the way. I'm having great fun. I wish I could see some of it. I spend all my time in front of a laptop. Anyway, that injury, which he declared, well, it ruled him out of being here. He's since gone to Spain. Isak and his camp, they're trying to force this move now. I don't think he's got any intention or any wish or any desire to come back and play for Newcastle United. Of course, in the background, that's how these transfers work. He will be aware of Liverpool's interest, Liverpool's want, and perhaps by extension determination to send me. Wouldn't be behaving and conducting himself like this if he and his camp weren't convinced they were going to see it through. By extension, you can probably assume personal terms aren't a problem either. But Newcastle, I've said this before, for three things, you need three dominoes to fall. You need a club to want to play, a player to want to go. Those two dominoes, they're ready to go. The third one is the club who owns the player, who pays his wages, they've got to agree to it as well. I said this in a video earlier in the week and reported it at Daily Mail. Newcastle will not sell if the terms are not right for them. What do we mean by that? It's twofold. The package, monetary-wise, has to be right. It's got to be a lot more than £110 million plus add-ons, whatever they are. It's got to be more than that. It's got to be somewhere close to that £150 million British record valuation. Let's get across the road, because you can sometimes wait here, ages here, if you miss the green man. Secondly, they've got to have the replacements lined up. What's the point in Newcastle accepting whatever it is for Alexander Isak, be it £120 million or £150 million, getting that money in the bank and declaring the world, okay, right, now we've got to spend it. Clubs will look to empty their bank account and they'll look to extract more for players than they're perhaps worth. So, in summary, two things that have to happen for Newcastle to sell, to knock the third domino over. Liverpool have got to present a package that they deem acceptable, but also, perhaps more importantly than the first part of it, they've got to have those replacements lined up with one foot in the door, at least. Who are they? Well, the big ticket one I've spoken about previously is a game of football. Let's have a quick look. What are these? There's any strikers here? What are they like? Take them back to Newcastle. Look, wear the number 9. Yeah, going to navigate my way through. This place is crazy. I love it. I'm going to put my laptop down and come back out. Finally have a night out here. Who do they like? Benjamin Sesko would have ticked a lot of boxes. Good age, good profile, tracked him for a while now. They liked Sesko. It looks as if he's going to Manchester United. Ollie Watkins. Now, Ollie Watkins is a name today which I've been told if they're given encouragement, Newcastle probably would move for Watkins. But the problem is, the message back from Aston Villa right now is that they don't want to sell. But there's lots of buts. It's the transfer window. For every statement, there's a but, and for every follow-up statement, there's another caveat. But Aston Villa do need to sell because of PSR concerns and because of the UEFA restrictions, which are slightly different to PSR. That is what I'm told Aston Villa are currently struggling with. Well, yeah, they do need to sell a player. And if it's not one of the other big names, then it might just be Ollie Watkins. I think Watkins would fit at Newcastle. I know Eddie Howe likes that sort of player, a player who has worked his way up in his career, who's come through the lower leagues. He thinks they are made of special stuff. Watkins ticks that box. Now you might turn around to me and say, well, Watkins is 29, what sort of replacement is that for Alexander Isak? Likewise, Johan Wissa, 28. Well, okay, I agree, guys, it wouldn't be ideal. But what Watkins and Wissa would do, I think I spoke about this earlier in the week, would buy them a year, would buy them 2 years to identify that player, the next Alexander Isak, and you'd be bringing in guaranteed Premier League goals. Goodness, for anyone who plays fantasy Premier League, I'm not a fantasy Premier League ball, far from it, but Watkins and Wissa score a lot of points. They do score goals. You know, you sometimes look at the profile and look at what could potentially be going out. They're not Alexander Isak, who is. But if Isak is determined to go and they do get an offer in the region of what they want, it might actually maximise value, then they've got to look at what works, and could it be a short-term solution like a Watkins and Wissa, if there is no other next Alexander Isak, for want of a better phrase, if you like, on the market just yet. Here's another caveat. Where should we go? We're at a crossroads there, much like Newcastle United this summer. We'll go straight on. It's noisy up there. DJ in a street like that fellow who plays outside the metro station at St James's there. The alternative is Isak stays. Now, how would Isak stay at the club? Well, it would be, a combination of those two things I've said. Either Liverpool stick it around 110, 15, 20, 25, or they offer the money Newcastle find acceptable, but they just can't get anybody in. Newcastle will not go into the new season with Will Asula and Sean Neve as their front two. Spin round, we'll head back. They won't do that, they can't do that. Anyhow, everybody knows that. Liverpool should know that. Liverpool, if you want the Isak deal to go through, should be showing them their list of centre forwards and saying, by the way, guys, there's a fella in wherever it may be, Holland, Germany, France, we've been scouting, he's available for this as a release clause, he's very good, why didn't you have a look at him? If I was Liverpool, I'd be helping Newcastle find Isak replacement. It's part of the deal, one of the key factors of the deal they need to make this happen. I say that tongue in cheek, but the more I say it, the more I think it actually makes sense. So if that is the case, Alexander Isak will be told, get your backside back from Spain, join up with your squad, let's see how your thigh is, and go from there. And there's a new contract with, potentially, a release clause or a gentleman's agreement, whatever it may be, for next summer. Alexander Isak to Liverpool, as we stand here tonight, in the centre of red-hot Seoul, by the way. Alexander Isak has gone nowhere as it stands, because those two key criteria haven't yet been satisfied. Next question, playing the role of journalist. Do I think it'll happen? I probably do, guys. I do, yeah. And have I convinced myself of that in the last 3 seconds? Wasn't a massively convincing response, was it? No, I do. I think if you watch these videos, I've been consistent on that for a little while now. It's Isak's determination to go, and it comes back to what I said at the very start of this saga when I originally broke the world exclusive that he told the club he wanted to go, he wanted to quit. There's always a right time to sell a player, and given how things have played out this past week and Isak's conduct and this bad negative feel, this vibe there is around the club right now, to end that, one way to end that, not the only way, one way to end that is to get a deal done for Isak and is to bring in others and start again and go afresh. Flip side of that, here we are, back to flip sides, is the message it sends. It sets that dangerous precedent for how you get yourself out of the club. Isak's conduct, I don't think has helped matters, because it's actually, it's put a gun to the club's head. And they know if they now see to his wishes and he does go, there's that football, now it's boxing. Who's that in there? I was going to say Alexander Isak and Newcastle's sporting director, but they don't have a sporting director for him to fight with. I told you this place was mental. I'm going to watch this for 2 minutes while I get a breathe. I hope you enjoy it, guys. More entertaining than me. Yeah, so are Liverpool going to come back with that knockout bid? I think they will. I think they know the figures Newcastle want. Will the next one be the one? Perhaps not. We're going to get our money's worth out of this in terms of a summer-long saga. But again, what Newcastle don't want and what they can't have happen is for this to go until August the 30th. Then be given a pot of money to spend in 24 hours. That won't happen. If Liverpool want to do it, they know the importance of Newcastle having those replacements. They can't leave it. They can't let this drag on, because that gives Newcastle less time. Who won? Well, they're both still standing. Both seem happy enough. Not a very good fight. Thought better in this part of the world. I thought they'd keep going until we had it. Body on the pavement. Anyway, we haven't. Maybe that's just the sort of mood I'm in. Yeah, I haven't slept much. A lot of work. Incredibly busy day today. It was brilliant. Been in to watch them train. Chatted with all sorts inside. Been at the team hotel. Been in activation events. Walked around. They're still playing football. I've walked around half of Seoul recording a special Q&A, which still stands, by the way, answering a lot of questions which are separate to Alexander Isak, even though I'll have to update some of it. She's good. There you go. What's happening there now behind us? Just using these little intervals as a breather, guys. I'm sweating and I've still got to go back and work. I hope that captures everything. Big breaking news tonight. To recap, they've rejected the offer, circa £110 million up front with some add-ons. Oh, there's now an ambulance. There's now a... What's going on here? I hope it wasn't one of the Foxers. It's such an appropriate setting for the content of this video. I said it before, guys, I'll say it again. This place is crazy, and so is everything around Newcastle United right now. It's never not newsy. That was the conversation I had with guys today inside the club, and I said in a strange way, I can get across the road, I said in a strange way, they weren't complaining, they were just concerned that the narrative is negative. It is negative at the moment. Can't buy a break, but at the same time, there's a narrative around them because they are a big club, there is interest, they have got good players, and that means, in the same token, it can flip quickly. If they get players in, if they start winning matches, they've got the Champions League, they've got Eddie Howe. I've been with Sandro Tonali today, Kieran Trippier. A reminder that they've got fantastic players. All is not lost, it's just a bit bumpy, it's a bit turbulent right now. And they're going to have to be very clever and very savvy about how they play out the rest of this saga, what they do with Isak. Do they attempt to find him? Can they find him? Do they even need to find him? Do they not just need to draw a line under the... Come back to that word, that saga. That's what's turned into in our journalistic language. That's turned into a saga. Draw a line around and move on. Be that by saying, no, you're going nowhere, end of story, get back. Or negotiating those terms they need at the same time, bringing in the players they need. Still so many unknowns, guys. This is an update, but it's by no way definitive. The message is still pretty strong, like it has been all week. Newcastle will only sell on their terms. And that message will today, tonight, what are we, today or tonight? I haven't got a clue anymore, be conveyed back to Merseyside. In the meantime, been speaking to Anthony Gordon, incredible interview. I love speaking to Anthony Gordon, engaging, honest, hungry again. Put the link in the description below the line. He says, I know how Alexander Isak feels. It was him last summer. He's confirmed all of that to me, all the Liverpool stuff. I'm going to call it a saga. I can't use the word saga again. The Liverpool saga from last summer. It's not his turn, he said to me. So I'm loving this. I'm not the centre of the transfer speculation. I said, we can soon change that, Anthony. He said, no, please don't. He's happy here. Big hint on his Newcastle future within that interview. Please go and read it. What other targets are there? Mentioned Watkins, mentioned Sesko. Don't think that's going to happen. Rodrigo Muniz is in there from Fulham. Nicholas Jackson, but lower down the list. Wissa, they're still fighting for, but in no way of Newcastle. Wissa's conduct as well is a concern, because he's behaving like Alexander Isak is, and I've seen a few of you guys on social media. Well, you've roiled back against that. I understand why. That, by the way, is in no way upon the instruction of Newcastle United. So, yeah, any other news for you? Wasn't meant to be anything other than an Alexander Isak update. Joe, let's end with some good news, some positive for you guys. Joe Willock's okay. Joe is going to miss a couple of matches, but what we thought was, goodness, we thought it was a snapped Achilles. It's not. He's okay. Should we end it there? I think we should. Have a little look around this place. If you get the chance to come, it's fascinating. It's a million cities in one city as well. It's absolutely vast. Right. Good night, guys. Hit like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think on this one. I'll try to get back to as many as possible. Loving the interaction, loving the coverage. It's brilliant. Brilliant. Again, I use that word. It's good coverage. Good, interesting, fascinating story. But for Newcastle United, it isn't brilliant right now. It's bumpy. It really is bumpy. It's noisy, like it is back up there in Seoul's equivalent of Piccadilly Circus, Times Square, whatever it was. It was good fun though. Right, that's enough. Love the interaction. See you soon, guys. Good night from South Korea.